Hello! In today's video we're going to be looking at something that's really tiny but really powerful, and it's right down here. What is it? Find out after I've said roll titles! Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. In today's video we're going to be looking at this. What's this? Well, this is the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. And it's a webcam, but it's a little bit smarter than your average webcam. For a start, it is a PTZ webcam, so that's got pan, tilt and zoom, and it's all done on this sort of little gimbally guy here. This is actually sort of like a pared down version of the OBSBOT Tiny 2. This Lite version comes in at around about £120 cheaper, so it retails at around about £150, which for a webcam that does 4K at 30 frames per second is actually very, very impressive. Yeah, what we're going to do in this video today is we'll look at the product and then we'll plug it into the computer and see what the software's like and see some of the little cool tricks that it can do. And I must admit, I'm very, very excited. So first of all, let's have a little look at the box and see what it says. Okay, so in the box, we've got the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. We've got a USB-C to USB-C cable. We've got a USB-C to USB-A adapter. So if you don't have any USB-C ports on your computer, you can plug it into a USB-A port. We've got a user manual and a warranty card. So let's have a look inside. Okay, so inside the box, it's got some details here. You might be wondering why these icons are here. Well, you can actually control this camera while you're using it with gestures. It uses AI to pick up on your gestures. So I think you can set it so it tracks you, and also you can zoom in and out using hand gestures, which I think is really smart because sometimes you don't really want to be fiddling around with controls while you're sort of mid-talking. So being able to do some gestures without having to scrabble around at the computer, I think that's a very smart idea. Let's have a look inside the box. Okay, so I think we've got our manuals and user guide up here. Wow, look at that. That's so diddy. I am blown away by that. That is just tiny. Let's have a look inside this little box. I assume this will be our USB-C cable and USB-A to USB-C adapter. Indeed it is. Yeah, I'd say maybe that's like 1.5 meters. Right, let's have a little look at this guy. Oh, so cute. Now sometimes like webcams have little sliders and stuff that you can pull the lens across, so people can't, you know, a hacker couldn't get into your computer and turn your webcam on, but you can actually set this to look down, so that's privacy in itself. You know, you literally can't see anything. Very nice. So around the back we've got a USB-C socket, and then on the base we've got a tripod mount, which could be quite handy, especially if you've got like a streaming setup, a little bit like what I've got, and you want to put it on like an actual tripod rather than on the top of your monitor. But talking about it going on the top of the monitor, the base comes out and you can sort of put it on top of your monitor like that, but I'll show you that when we actually get it on the computer. So behind the camera is a 1/2 inch CMOS, which gives you the 4K 30 frames per second video. Obviously that's the maximum resolution. I know a lot of streamers only use 1080p, so you know, the options there. And it's also got dual omnidirectional microphones with adjustable noise cancellation, so it should give you some nice clear sound capture. But yeah, if you're just using this as a traditional webcam, you don't need to worry about having an additional microphone because you've got these dual channel mics here. What's really good is in the software you can create presets, so the camera is pointing in a certain direction with a certain zoom level just sort of by pressing a button in the software. So obviously this has got a lot of movement in it and it can point to sort of pretty much anywhere in your surroundings, but if you want it locked into like a favorite position, you can set that position and even go as far as having the right color settings for that position and press a button, and bing, the camera will just zip into that place and get everything set up. So if you are a streamer and say you have a thing where if people type zoom into the chat. It makes your camera zoom in. You could set up a preset in OBS and use the OBSBOT software and make it just zoom in and go to that preset automatically without having to faff or anything like that. And thinking about it, having the sort of PTZ functionality is just great, because sometimes when a camera is on top of your monitor, it's not always at the right angle and you have to sort of fiddle around with your screen and get it all at the right angle. But you can just do this in software. You can just get it exactly where you need it to and set it there and it will stay there. But if you are moving around, for example, if you're presenting something, this uses AI auto tracking with auto zoom, and it can keep locked in on you all by itself. So you can switch between standard mode and motion mode in the software. So you can keep it still or it can follow you around, which is great. So if you're doing sort of online courses and presenting, it's almost like you've got a cameraman there with you, but it's just this little guy just doing it all. So smart. Now, something that it is missing is Windows Hello functionality, and that's basically where your webcam looks at your face to log into your computer. That's okay. I mean, this is technically a budget webcam, so it's unsurprising that they don't have the Windows Hello functionality. Not many webcams do. It's only like at the proper high-end spenny ones that you might find that. So I think the amount of features that this has already sort of makes up for it. So the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite has PDAF focusing, which stands for phase detection autofocus. And so it can quickly move the lens to the correct focus point. But I think we'll have to see that in action when it's plugged into the computer. This also comes with beauty mode, where it can smooth your skin and brighten your eyes. I mean, obviously I don't need that, but some of you might need that for when you're sort of doing your Zoom calls at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I certainly don't. Well, I guess we should stop talking about it and actually plug it into the computer and see how it performs. So let's switch the camera over and move over there. Okay, well, I've got the OBSBOT plugged in and it's sitting beautifully on top of my monitor, but I need to install the software for it. So let's go to the download center. That's what we need. Now, this does both work on Windows and Mac computers. So, you know, I'm using Windows, but it'll work fine on a Mac as well. So let's download the software. Let's get the OBSBOT Center software installed. Imagine we're going to have to do a firmware update on the camera as well. There we go. Launch our OBSBOT Center. So this is something that's really cool, because obviously it's on a gimbal. You can film in either landscape or portrait. So if you're making content for, say, TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, you can actually set the camera to be in portrait, which is just awesome. But we'll keep it on landscape for now. So it says that the device is sleeping. Yeah, there's the device asleep. Let's resume him and see what happens. Hello. Look at that. Right, so this is the OBSBOT Center software. We'll have a proper look at it in a moment, but it says device 1 update. So yeah, as I suspected, it needs to do a firmware update. So we will allow that. I'll tell you what, while that's updating, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout out my channel members. Now, you can become a channel member by joining via Patreon, Facebook or YouTube, and you can basically help financially support this channel. Now, I haven't paid for this OBSBOT. It's been very kindly sent to me, but I use people's monthly donations to buy things that you see in and around this channel. So helping support it by becoming a channel member really does help out. And also in return, you get a little cheeky shout out in pretty much every video. So yeah, if you want to help out the channel, then consider becoming a member. But even if you like this video and subscribe to my channel, that would be a massive help. I'm on the path to 20,000 subscribers, and it would be great to have you here along with me on the journey. So anyway, while this firmware is updating, I'm going to shout out the awesome people who have already joined. and we'll get this up and running. So first up, we've got those Kip fans who are Matt Lovies, JRC Electrical, For the Burbs, Wayne Cornish, Mike Cass, Rob Lynn, Scott Made a Thing, Michael Wood, Draco MacGyver, Rebecca, Tom Wood and Chelsea B. Then you have to get up early to beat the Kip early birds who are Dean Ball, Sean at Cablesmith Electrical, Tim Salt, Sorcerer Stan and Mark C. And oh my goodness, I love these guys so much, and apparently they love me too. They are the Kip lovers who are Bella Webster, Stez Sticks Fix, Lawrence, Scott Kendall and Props Retro Fix. And then we have our amazing Kip nutters who are Becky Boobar and Alan Green. Thank you so much for being top tier supporters, you two. And also I have to give a special mention to probably one of my oldest subscribers, and that is Graham Mockford. Thank you, Graham, for watching my videos. It really is appreciated. Anyway, let's get this camera working. Okay, so obviously it's sort of pointing in not the right direction. So let's... Ooh. 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 There I am. Looks good. Actually, really sharp. So at the moment it's at 1080p, 30 frames per second. There we go. So we can change the mode here. So we can crank it up to 4K 30. Let's do 1080p 60. Oh, and you can actually record straight in the software as well. That's handy. So you don't necessarily need to have streaming software or screen recording software set up. You can just go straight into the camera. It's cool. So I'm just trying out the tracking, and I think if you put your hand to your face and do like an L, there you go. So it should track me now. That's cool. So that's using the gesture control. Let's go over here. Can you find me? Yes, you can. I come over this way. Can you find me? Yes, you can. It's all very smooth. It doesn't sort of, you know, ah. And yeah, so if I do the L again, it flashes and it's turned off the tracking. So now it shouldn't, yeah. Oh, hello. Hello. I literally just stood up and it followed me. Let's see if it can find my upper body again. Oh, hello. Yes, hello. You found me. You caught me. Well done. That is mad. That is absolutely insane. Change our field of view. So this is narrow, this is medium, and this is wide. That is smart, isn't it? That's just locked onto me. It's so creepy. So if we go into the image tab, we can have a little look a bit more at what's going on. So we can turn on and off HDR. Okay. Yep, that's sort of balanced things out a bit. Smart. And then we can turn on and off autofocus, and we can make it focus on specific things that we want it to focus on. So if we put it onto global, it won't just be fixated on trying to get my face. So hopefully if I put that up there, there you go. It's hunting a little bit. That's better. And then boom, back to the face. Amazing. Okay, let's just keep it on my face for now. Let's just keep it all about me. So we've got exposure settings, anti-flicker, so 50 Hertz is right for this country. And you can change the contrast, change the hue. Oh, no, not good. Let's just keep those in the middle. What other things can we play with? What's more? So when the video stream is not turned off, it will enter the sleep mode after the above time. So that's good. Once the camera's off for 2 minutes, as it's set now, it will dip down into the sleep mode and sort of give you privacy. So this explains our gesture control. And if we do that, it's locked on a human target. Oh no, it's unlocked because it was locked. There we go. So if I do that, there we go, it flashes. And now it's locked on a human target. Ah! It's after me! And then if I do that, it zooms in. And if I do that again, does it zoom out? Yes! Look at that. So if I'm like, yeah, come in close to me. Yeah, bit too close. Never mind. This is so smart. And you can do the dynamic zoom. What's that? Ah! Okay, so look, there we go. So here we've got our audio settings, so you can turn the microphone on or off during sleep mode. Obviously, you probably want to keep it off. Automatic gain control and noise reduction. Okay. Okay, so maybe we should add a preset, see how that works. Let's turn off the tracking for now. And I want to add a preset, and this is just a sort of normal good face cam, isn't it? That's a good setting. But if I want to do like a extreme close-up that looks up a little bit. There we go. If I want to do an extreme close-up on my eyes, let's do that. Let's get that leveled off and add that as a preset. So now if I go to preset 1, it locks off to where we had it set. And then if we go to preset 2, it should just zoom in very scarily close to my eyes. Yes, that's what it's doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'll set it up in the OBS software and make it so you can actually hear the audio out of the camera, because at the moment you're listening to the audio through this microphone here. But yeah, we need to test the microphone and see how it sounds. So now this is me just talking to you directly through the OBSBOT camera. Hopefully it should sound okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let me play it back and have a little listen for myself. That audio actually sounded pretty good. I'm impressed with it. Usually webcam audio is absolute bobbins, but it sounds pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's not like having a professional lav mic or, you know, one of these kind of mics, but you don't always have that. I'm very lucky to have the setup that I have, but, you know, for jumping on a Zoom call or just doing some streaming, those dual omnidirectional microphones do the job really well. Now, something I wanted to play with is the integration into Stream Deck. And for those of you who don't know what Stream Deck is, it's basically these sort of digital buttons, and I use them to control my computer. And when I did streaming as well, you know, I could make all kinds of stuff happen at the touch of a button. It's a lot easier just reaching to press a button rather than trying to sort of figure out and click a window here and move something like that. It's just a way of automating things, but you can actually use them for sort of day-to-day computing. So you can set up some buttons for editing in Premiere Pro, for example, or editing in Photoshop. I love my Stream Deck very, very much. There is OBSBOT integration with Stream Deck. So I've got the plugin installed down here. So if we do the set webcam, and we'll just do a set webcam button, there we go. So it's found my camera, and then if we select the property, so we want to do, look at that. I mean, you can control sort of pretty much all the aspects of the camera through there. This is mad, honestly. There's so much control you can do. But what I'd really like, remember we set those preset positions for the camera where we had the sort of wide shot like it's out on now, or we had the sort of silly extreme close-up. I want to add those as buttons onto my Stream Deck. So if we go to preset position and we choose position number 1, that's good. And then we add in another button, and then we do property, preset position, and position number 2. We've now got these 2 buttons actually on my Stream Deck, number 1 and number 2. So if I press number 2, we should have the horribly zoomed in setting. Yes, we do. And if I press button number 1, that's better. Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to add like a sort of a wide preset that's not zoomed in. Let's just give it a tiny bit of zoom. There we go. And make it look down at me a little. Not that little. There we go. And let's add that as preset number 3. Now on these presets, you can like change the color settings. So if you wanted like to do a sad face to your camera, you could make it so it went black and white. And so like when you press 2 and it zooms into your sad face, you could make it be in black and white and it looks all sad. And then when you press the button again, poof, it'll zip out and make it back into full color. So let's just add a button for number 3 now. So preset position number 3, boom. So now we press button number 2 and go right in. And then press button number 3. There we go, the camera goes back to where it was. Honestly, I cannot get over how good this is. I used to do a lot of streaming on Twitch and then on YouTube, and if you want to watch some of my old streams, I'll stick a playlist in the corner. And I had to basically run everything through that camera, and if I wanted any fun and whizzy stuff to happen, it all had to be done in software and everything like this. But with the OBSBOT, with its pan, tilt and zoom, you can just have sort of such dynamic streams and things like that, and be able to control it either through the OBSBOT software or through your Stream Deck. It's just amazing. Wow. If you want me to go and if you want me to try streaming again, maybe using the OBSBOT, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear what you think. But yeah, as like I was saying earlier, if you do training or something online and you want to be talking to your camera and, you know, it's sort of acting like there's a cameraman with you, you can do that. I'm literally doing nothing. I'm just walking around and it is laser focused onto me. I am agog that a webcam that costs the price that it does, it's £150, just does all this out of the box. I can see the autofocus twitching slightly at times, which is a little bit annoying. I'm just trying to watch it and watch me. And if I had this when I used to stream, it would have changed everything, because I did used to do a lot of my streaming standing up. And, you know, I could wander off camera inadvertently, but this is just mental. Oh, man. OBSBOT, can you send me the Tiny 2 regular, not the Lite, and I can compare them? That'd be great. Thank you. Honestly, this is just so smart. I'm really, really happy with it. I love that. I love that so much. That is insane. Honestly, that is really good. And the picture quality looks great. I mean, obviously, I've got lights in here for filming, but yeah, it just looks fantastic. I am genuinely blown away by how good this camera is. Because when you think of a sort of budget webcam, it just makes you think, oh, okay, well, the image quality is not going to be very good. There won't be many features. But this camera is absolutely loaded with stuff. And I'm thinking that I could actually put it up where my DSLR used to sit when I used to do streaming and stream with it. I think my only criticism is sometimes the tracking with the hand gestures is a little overzealous. I'm slightly sort of having to rein in my hand movements that I normally do, because it will probably just suddenly spring into life and start wanting to focus on me as I move and everything like that. I mean, it would be amazing to have an optical zoom rather than a digital zoom, but that's probably asking a bit too much of a camera in this price point. I did notice at times that the autofocus could be a little bit twitchy, and also the exposure could be a little bit twitchy. And that's probably because of the lights behind me and the sort of movements. It just kind of was trying to compensate. I found that if I put the autofocus and also auto exposure into global mode rather than face, it seems a lot more stable. And that's what I'm using at the moment. And I don't think I've seen the focusing miss a beat at all. I don't think that this really can be beaten in this kind of price field, especially with the PTZ function. That's insane. And also something that I didn't even touch upon is the fact that within the OBSBOT Center, you can actually control up to 4 cameras at once. So if you wanted like a full multi-cam streaming setup and all your cameras have PTZ and you want to be able to adjust them into different positions and everything like that, you can have up to 4 cameras in one hit. That is mental, and just wouldn't that be so cool to have sort of such a lively interactive streaming setup? So yeah, must admit I was slightly dubious because it's a relatively cheap 4K webcam and I just wasn't expecting much. And here we are. I'm absolutely blown away. I hope you've enjoyed it too. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have, then please do let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you'd like me to do a few more gaming streams, then also let me know in the comments. But yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But for now, it's game over.